Hey everyone, guess what? We do not have ugly swag. We have spaced out radio gear that you're going to want to wear. Why? Because no one wants to wear ugly clothing. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com and go shopping today. You'll be glad you did. And it's a great way to support our show. Once you get your gear, send us a picture of you rocking out in your SOR swag. spacedoutradio.com, shop there today, and make yourself look good.
I'm not a good pretender, I never could live a lie. I said too much, and let it get the best of me, until it took the rest of me. I thought it was worth the fight, to fight for what's right, to right all the wrongs, to sing in our songs, to know we belong. No one understands, they don't have the desire, got their hands in the fire, and I do it again. We give it all we can, all we have is desire, got their hands in the fire, we burn the still say never say, never say, never say, never again. I never say, never say, never say, never again. I learned more from one enemy than from 1,000 friends. That heaven takes care of the fools and scoundrels in the end. You learn more from one lie than from 1,000 truths. It's all...
Greetings, space travelers. Welcome home. You've just tuned your dial to Spaced Out Radio, the only place where you can own the night. I'm your host, Mr. Rob G. And tonight we're broadcasting to you on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Odyssey Radio. You can access our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spaced Out Radio, at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the options are endless. You can stay up to date with the SOR Newswire, get some official Spaced Out swag, plus rock out to some Bumblefoot, and a whole lot more. We're going to make this an awesome show tonight. So initially, we weren't going to air tonight due to some guest mishaps. But I got some encouragement from viewers to go ahead and just put something together. I mean, everybody just wants to be together. And who am I to be the one to stand in the middle of that, right? So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make sure that we have something going on today because I'm your guy. You can depend on me to do that. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And it's going to be awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit kind of hybrid of what we have done before. So normally on a night where we're unable to air for whatever reason, difficulties, guest issues, then we usually run a replay, right? We'll just run a replay. It's a premiere. It's not technically live. We're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to do a little bit of both. So we will run a portion of a replay tonight because we did have guest issues tonight, which is why we weren't going to air. And then what we'll do is we'll air the interview portion of the replay. And as soon as the interview concludes, then we'll go ahead and run our normal after hours, hour number 3, which you never know what can happen, right? And after hour number 3. So we'll have some fun stuff for you. We'll make sure that we do something with you guys, make it all inclusive and just have a good time, right? So I'm going against my best thoughts and notions to do this, but I definitely want to do it. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat and see who is out there. Let's see who's there. Let me check and see who the first one's in. Let's see. We got Cosmic Joe Chronicles showing coming in with the gold. We have Brown Dwarf coming in with the silver, and then Race Fan coming in with the bronze. And I definitely want to make sure we bring everybody up here. So we got Cosmic Joe, we got Brown Dwarf, my guy. Shout out to Brown Dwarf. Awesome show last night. We will do work soon, sir. And then Race Fan again. We got Phyllis Mouchette Perry stepping in saying, hey, everyone. We got Van Gold saying, hey, y'all, what's going on here? We are getting a replay tonight. Yeah, it was game time decision, Van Gold, but watch how we make it work, right? It's going to be seamless. All the thumbnails, descriptions, I'll add all that stuff later, but we're going to make sure that you guys get something that you can enjoy tonight. And I think we picked a good one, right, for the interview. So let's do this here. Who else do we have? We have... Let's see. Okay, let's see. We got Stargazer saying, I survived the flood. Okay. Well, shout out to you. Mother Nature is nothing to be played with. I got some family down in Texas. They were under like a tornado warning tornado warning. I want to say yesterday or the day before. They had power outages, all sorts of bad stuff. I used to live in that stuff. I was in Oklahoma for about a year and a half, 2 years. And believe me, coming from California, or, as far as Mother Nature goes, she's not playing out there. She is not playing. So hope you guys are all safe. Yeah, it says replay Race Fan, but it's technically going to be a little bit of both. So let's definitely get it in. Cosmic Joe Chronicle getting it started early with the 99-cent super chat. We do appreciate your support of Spaced Out Radio and the game time decision, right? Let's make this thing work, right? That's what we do. So let's get it down the list here. We got Paramarv who stepped in saying, howdy, folks. Appreciate you coming on in, Paramarv. And yeah. When the guest situation, let's say a good portion of the show ties into the guest, right? So with the guest not really being able to step in or step up, then it kind of creates an issue. But we're going to kind of work through that tonight. Let's see. We got Jessica S coming on in with some emojis saying, what's up, Buttercups? What's up? Right back to you, Jessica S. Appreciate you coming on in. We got Laura Lee Seaton saying SOR. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you coming on in. JSCL77. This live or can? Haha. It's a little bit of both. This is live right now as we sit and we speak. So it will be live. It starts off live. We will do hour 3 as live. But for the interview portion will be a replay. So we'll get through that. Let's see here. Who else do we have in here? We got Philip Blair stepping in saying, is this song from James Bond movie with Sean Connery, Never Say Never Again? I don't know. I don't think so, because I know this song really isn't that old. I think this is Bumblefoot album. I think came out right around 5-6 years ago. So I don't know. No, I don't think it's that old though. Moving down the list. Let's see. Who else do we got here? We do have Dragonfly stepping in saying, evening, Robin, SWR chat family, evening, Dragonfly. We are going to get the party started here in just a moment. Let's get through the list. Kurt M is in the building saying hi, all. Hi, Kurt M. Thanks for coming on in. Woo Riders DG, Derek Galloway, Paramar, president of Iran, presumed dead helicopter crash. Wow. Appreciate the world news and the what's going on in the world. We do appreciate that. Let's take a look here. Magneticus says he's lurking. He's always lurking. Magneticus attract us out there. Shout out to Magneticus as we go ahead and get down the list. And because of the way the show was set up, I don't really anticipate a lot of people to have been alerted of this. Maybe they'll creep in for it. If they don't, then they're going to miss something good tonight. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Let's see. Moving down the list, I don't see anyone else. So, okay, nope, I do actually. I got Spite Fairy stepping on in saying, hey, hugs and all. So is that Puck Elf? That could be Puck Elf. Could be a Puck Elf sighting. Yep, sure is. Shout out to Puck Elf. We got Lakeside Laura stepping on up in here. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little bit different, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that we get the interview portion started, so that once that closes out, we can jump right back into our after hour number 3 live and kick it off with who knows. Maybe Deb sends some trivia over. Maybe we do some fun stuff like that. But we're gonna do something. We're gonna make it work because I want to make sure that we can ease you into this work week, right? Because once again, Sunday show, we get ready to roll into that Monday through Friday thing with Dave Scott, 9 p.m. Pacific until midnight. And I want you guys to take positive energy into the week and have an excellent week. We're going to manifest it like we always do, right? Okay, just making sure nobody else is stepping in here. Looks like we are all set for now. Wait, Samantha Hazelwood Gray did come in the building saying, I'm here, and we want to make sure that you're counted because we appreciate you stepping in the building, Samantha. Definitely glad that you are here to kind of do this little impromptu sort of show. So with that being said, I had a show on my channel, The Social Dig, which I was going to air tonight, but since we're running this, I'll push that off until tomorrow. So make sure, if you guys haven't come over to The Social Dig, which is my personal channel, we got some really great stuff going on over there. We will be doing a show tomorrow afternoon, I don't know, maybe noon, or we'll set it for 5 p.m. Just if you hit the notification bell, you will be alerted. But the topic is going to be post-disclosure. What's the government's plan? We're going to go through some scenarios of how this could all turn out if catastrophic disclosure slaps everyone in the face. And, we're in this new realization that, we're in this new world with these, super highly advanced beings that may be able to help us ascend. I really think they can. So make sure you guys go over there and set that up and come over to my channel tomorrow. It will be awesome. I do promise you that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the interview. This interview, actually, I look at it and I picked it because it was on the topic of CE5. I know we all get into that. And I want to make sure that I say the lady's name correctly. So let me go ahead and bring this up here. We have... her name is Lily Nova, right? And so the topic of this interview is going to be CE5 contact with aliens. They are here. So this is something that aired. Let's see. Let me get the date on that. It's about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And just to answer Philip Blair, because I really don't promote my channel on SOR that much, right? But Philip Blair is asking, what is the Social Dig channel usually about? It's the tough conversations, Philip, that we need to have in order to get towards disclosure. Like, we tackle a lot of the controversial topics when it comes to moving the needle, right? So perfect example would be the what was it? It was the why are aliens here? Proof of why aliens are here. We have there's a list of them. I have at least 50 shows or more. Season 1 has 44 episodes, so make sure that you guys go over there and watch those. My UFO sighting is shown over there. We talk about like intergalactic capitalism. How would this model really translate into the galactic space, right? Can we take this model of what we are currently living here on this planet and take that into space? So we have shows on that. And like I said, the show tomorrow, we've done one on Scientology, the cult of Scientology, part 1, which we're about to do part 2. So make sure you guys go over there. And then especially for tomorrow's show, which would be the post-disclosure, what would the government's plan be? You really think you know your government, but what would they really do if tomorrow we get slapped with catastrophic disclosure? ETs land, they're here. How does the government handle that? What would they do, right? That's what we'll be talking about on the Social Dig tomorrow. So make sure you guys come on in. Castle Dude, what's up? Got to give you a shout out. Thanks for coming on in at the buzzer. To Mothman, same for you. Let you know real quick what we're doing here. We're running a live /replay show. So this is obviously live. We're right now about to get into the interview with Dave Scott and Lily Nova regarding CE5. And once that interview is over, we're going to come back into this show live, finish out our hour 3 with each other, and have a great time. So let me get the show up here and ready to go. And then I will see you guys as soon as this interview concludes. So let me go ahead, share the screen, and let's get this thing going.
It's also Dave 101 night, and we will, I'll tell you a little bit about that. It's an I told you so moment.
See you guys in a minute. Enjoy the show.
And then we'll get to the strange news. All right, let's get to it here. Lily Nova is a UFO photographer, ET contactee, CE5 practitioner, channeler, psychic, and DNA activator. Her story and footage have been published in mainstream media news, including the LAD Bible and the Mirror. That's how we found her, by the way. UFOs began visiting Lily during COVID while out shooting space photography. As her experiences progressed, she learned about these otherworldly beings and how to initiate contact with them. They taught her how to activate her dormant DNA and psychic abilities. She now uses these gifts to channel messages, activations, and healing on her YouTube channel, Lily Nova. And she is dedicated to sharing her findings and experiences with the world because she is one of them star being type people. Let's get right to her. Lily Nova, it is always a pleasure to have you on Spaced Out Radio. This is your second time here. Good to have you back, my friend.
It is so good to see you again. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so excited that you are here tonight because tonight is actually a big night. It is the 8-year anniversary of my alien Carl coming to my window. And we'll get into this maybe a little bit later with Danielle, but I'll fill you in. So on April 20th, 2015, I was broadcasting a show. And I used to have this dinky little studio in my house, which was right beside my front door. And I had a window right there beside the front door. It used to be my daughter's bedroom. And this is what happened. This is a good way to start off the show, actually, with some serious woo. For the 3 nights previous, I'm a guy who always has my outside lights on. I like them being on. I don't like darkness outside, and this is at my old house, not here where I got animals roaming around and you can open your door at any time and see a deer or a cougar or a bear or a moose, right? No, this was in the city. But for some reason, it was night number 3. I hadn't turned my outside lights on. And all of a sudden, I'm about 10 minutes into the show, interviewing a gentleman named Harvey Kraft about Buddha, of all topics. And out of the corner of my eye, because the window is on my left, out of the corner of my eye, I see something move out the window. Now, my first inclination is this. Crap. One of my friends forgot I got a radio show now, and they're going to walk to the front door. I have paper-thin walls. My dogs are going to bark because I had a little Chihuahua dachshund named Zero at that time, who, if there was a crosswind, that was 30 minutes of barking. Okay. Yeah. So from there, after a few minutes, I realized the dogs hadn't barked and there's been no knock at the door. So Harvey's speaking. I put my microphone on mute. I swivel my chair over and look out the window. And there's this giant alien head outside the window staring at me. Giant black blue eye or black almond shaped eyes. He had the real chiseled face, like it wasn't a smooth gray face, but it actually, like, you could see the bone structure of the cheeks and of the chin, and he had just a slight little slit of a mouth. And I sat there and I looked and realized that I was actually seeing this. So I did what any man would do at that point. And Harvey, by the way, is speaking in my headphones. I screamed and I fell back in my chair. And then I jumped up to the window and he was gone. If it was a human being, I would have seen him running across my grass, running across by my front door, running out to the left where my carport was or my garage. I would have seen him. It was that fast.
Wow.
And he was gone. The legend of Carl.
That's amazing. And they can be like, they're and gone in 1 second.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
vanish.
Mm, I'll get into the rest of that story with our audience in hour 3 here. But let's talk about your aliens, because this isn't about me. This is about you. You got some aliens during COVID. What happened?
Yeah, I got some aliens during COVID. So it wasn't anticipated. So just to kind of summarize things, I'm a nutritionist. I was practicing nutrition. And then whenever COVID hit, it's lockdown, I started going out and shooting space photography with my camera. I've got a nice like DSLR camera. So I started going out and taking pictures of the Milky Way. It's like the middle of lockdown, everything's closed. So that's what I was doing every single night. And a couple months into it, I had my first close encounter with a UFO. And this was like a really, really close encounter. I was on my front porch. I went outside. It was probably about like 1, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was a craft hovering over the neighborhood. I pulled out my phone to start recording it because I'm like, oh my God, I think this is a UFO. And then some like a weird orange light appeared at the end of my street. And then whenever I looked back, a second craft had appeared. It was a huge diamond shaped craft where I was like bending my neck, looking up at it. It went up, down, side to side. Then it started coming straight towards me. And it went right above my head. I was half expecting a beam of light to come down and suck me up, but nothing happened. It just vanished. And after that, I just started seeing them left and right. So I started documenting them with my camera, and I started like kind of investigating them and learning about them. And then I'm like, I think they're communicating with me. They're trying to tell me something. They want me to show this to people, this footage. So that's how it started. I started documenting them and I began a relationship with them. Then they started talking to me and appearing to me in other ways. So they just began teaching me about woo-woo stuff, really. I was surprised, but they started teaching me about spirituality and energy and activating psychic abilities and things like that. So ever since then, like I've had that's been my life. It's taken over my life. It's so exciting. It's a huge deal. I mean, I dropped everything because this is really happening. And they're here. They're already
Yeah.
here.
It really is life altering, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know what? For you, when you started kind of exposing yourself to this, did you know anything about UFOs? Did you know anything about ET contact? Did my introduction to it was Fire in the Sky. I
Mm.
thought all aliens were bad
Ah.
because I saw what happened to Travis Walton in the movie, and they said it was based on a true story. I didn't realize that they had butchered it that much at that time back in 2014 when my stuff really started happening. But for you, did you study this topic? What did you know about it?
No, I didn't know much about it, but whenever I was younger, my dad had showed me Ancient Aliens, so I used to watch that with him for a little bit. So that was kind of my introduction, and that expanded my mind a little bit. But then that was to the extent of it. I wasn't researching this. I had that even being outside under the stars every night, that UFOs were the last thing I was thinking of. And it actually did kind of freak me out whenever I first had my experiences because there is a lot of negative programming about it. And then I discovered that these beings were it's not like that at all. Soon I began to figure out, okay, because I started researching after I started having these experiences. I was seeing them left and right. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Is this normal? I contacted MUFON and they were concerned for me because I was like, I've seen 14 crafts in the matter of like 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. They were like super concerned. But I soon found out that I was beginning to find out more than the information that was out there, and it was just all wrong, really. So yeah, I'm a clean slate, and I think that's part of the reason why this started happening to me because I was pretty much a clean slate. I wasn't into this, I was doing totally other things, and yeah, so yeah, it was pretty new.
Okay, and that actually brings up a good point because we've often talked about that on this show. When you're new, how have you learned over your couple of years? Because it's only been a couple of years
Mhm.
since you've come out now. Okay, how have you learned how to find the right people to share your story with, to share your experiences, because there's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of infighting, a lot of backlash. It's not a pretty community at the best of times. Yet, for somebody like you or somebody like me, when we come into this cold, we have to find a path in order to make room for ourselves, because we're not only are we trying to get our experiences out, but we're trying to learn what's going on as well. So how has that been for you?
Hmm. Well, at first it was very difficult, definitely. Like nobody believed me at first. I received a lot of backlash. My mom's husband at the time would like make fun of me. My brother would like cuss me out. All of it was very difficult at first. But I mean, I stuck with it and I stopped. Then I started to kind of get a feel for who to talk to about this. And you kind of, with people who don't know or who haven't had an experience, you really got to just plant very small seeds and just kind of like test the water, like kind of get their mind to expand a little bit at a time. Now my mom's saging the house and I'm pretty open with her about, these things. But I started sharing on TikTok. Actually, I started sharing my footage on TikTok. So I know not everybody has a platform where they can, share these things. So it may be different for other people, but that's why I'm part of what I do on my channel, on my YouTube channel, is help build a safe space for people. So actually, YouTube communities is a really good place to just meet people online who you can share these things with, or also conferences. I met a ton of people at conferences, and that's a really good way to meet others too. It's like meeting family whenever you go to events like that.
Isn't that truthful?
Yeah.
Isn't that truthful? And for a lot of people who are afraid to come out, okay, for every Lily Nova out there, there's probably about 20 or 30 that are sitting at home silent. What is your message to people out there who are afraid to come out, afraid to bring their stories to the social media, afraid maybe because of their family, their religion, their jobs, or just the fear of people, being critical about what they've experienced? What do you tell those people?
Mhm. Well, honestly, I made all new social media accounts because the friends and family that you grew up with in your town. Like I went back onto my old Facebook and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I would feel weird kind of sharing some of the things that I share now on that. So I made new social media and um, yeah, just meeting people online and yeah,
It's tough though, because you're literally creating a whole new life for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I think it's getting much easier. It's getting easier because people are starting to open. Now there's UFOs in the like my aunt who would have never talked about these things. She sent me an article earlier. So it's starting to become normalized. I would say just hang in there. It's getting easier. It's getting easier. It's becoming more open now, but definitely finding a community will help to empower you to, get the courage to and just the support to be
Right.
yourself. We're all becoming like new people at this point. Like I went through a huge kind of like death and rebirth whenever this happened to me. So I'm sure that's, how it is for a lot of people too. So you're like becoming a totally new person, really. It can be
No,
tough.
I would agree. I would 100% agree with you on that. As you have gone on your journey the last couple of years, what have you learned about yourself regarding this? Because it could either be something that is very vague, or it could be something that is very blunt and feels like you're getting punched in the stomach with new information each and every day or each and every week. What have you learned about yourself through this?
What have I learned about myself? That's a really good question. Well, you're kind of, like I was saying, like rebuilding who you are and what you really like. Reality is not what you think it is. So you start caring less about kind of like the stupid things or what everybody else wants you to do, and you start really diving deep into who you are and what makes you you, what you want to do, how you want to express yourself. And honestly, meditation has helped tremendously with that. It may sound like a little woo, but that has helped me so, so, so much. Meditation.
That's one thing I struggle with. Meditation. Meditation. How the heck do you do that? How does that actually work? And I could feel my friend Kira rolling her eyes at me. Dave, I've told you many a times how to meditate. I mean, yes, Kira. Yes, Kira. Yes,
Mhm.
Kira. But the idea behind the fact that you are now very public about your own ET contact, your own experiences, out of everything you've experienced, as we got about 5 minutes to go here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour, what's your coolest experience that you've had to date? One that you look back on and you're like, that trips me out. I can't believe that happened to me.
Yeah, well, kind of two come up. The most recent one I would say would be I actually felt beings in my room, but it was interesting because I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. So I was working one night. This was not that long ago. This was like a couple months ago. And I got the telepathic message, go lay down. We're here. I knew they wanted to send me some messages or do something. So I was like, okay. So I go in, I go lay down in my bed. And then suddenly I felt beings in each corner of my room and beings beside me. And these beings were actually from inner earth. They were inner earth beings. So we have them too. We don't just have the beings that are out in space. We have the beings that are in inner earth as well, which is just trippy and awesome. But I started feeling them suddenly I started feeling this going
Oh,
up. Yeah, going up my arms. And I felt it, like no mistake about it. And these beings very, very close to my face, but I couldn't see them because they're in another dimension, but I could actually feel them. So I just relaxed while they were doing work on me, but that really tripped me out. That was very recent. So they can be right in front of you and you can't even see them, just like how Carl was there 1 second. He was probably still there. He just switched into another dimension, but he could still see you.
he actually ran.
Oh,
My
did he?
my friend R. Keith Andrews, who'd never seen my house before.
Mhm.
Okay, he's like, "Do you live on a hill? And between you and your neighbor, there's a stairway on their side, and there's grass going down like a little knoll." I'm like, "Yes." Like, just pictured it like I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's where his craft was parked." He goes, "It's only about 20 feet between the houses, right?" I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah." And he's like, "That's where the craft was." He got the hell out of Dodge, man. He was afraid that you saw him.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I guess I wasn't supposed to see him.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's incredible. That's funny. Yeah, the craft are also really trippy. One of the other experiences that just really blows my mind was actually my second experience. I was out, so I didn't know nothing at the time. I was out shooting space photography by myself at an astronomy park in the middle of the night. There's cornfields around me. And then suddenly I see a craft to my right. I see a craft to my left. I turn around, there's two craft behind me, and then there's a craft right in front of me. And I realized that I was surrounded by UFOs. And it stayed like that basically for the next 5 hours. I sat up there with them around me. They were just kind of going back and forth, and I just recorded them. So that still
That
blows my
is
mind.
that is awesome. Have you ever had a scenario where a craft didn't want you to take its picture?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that it's always been very intentional with me. Yeah.
Last year, I had a situation. We have this hotspot that we found last year. We've had fairies in the trees. We've had UFOs. We have had Sasquatch sighting there. And Sasquatch, you could hear them wooing in the background. Okay, it's pretty intense. And then there was that one day where I don't know what the hell was there. But nonetheless, the one day when the UFOs showed up, I watched two orbs. And then, or pardon me, I'm staring at the sky just like I'm looking at you, about that angle. And my buddy Mike is right beside me. And I turn to see where my son is, turn back. There's now two orbs right in the sky, bright white. Third one manifests out to make the triangle. The second I went to pull my phone out of my pocket, it was like oh crap, he's going to take a picture of us. The two bottom ones
Mhm.
disappeared instantaneously, and the other one faded out. I was
Wow.
like, you sons of guns.
Yeah.
That's not very fair.
Of course. And I've had some Sasquatch experiences recently too, so we'll have to chat about that also.
Oh, I love this. Is getting awesome. This is. Have you seen him yet?
I haven't seen them like physically, psychically. So whenever your psychic abilities develop, if it's
Mhm.
easier for them to contact you that way. So I've seen them through vision, but they were all around. I just went to Arkansas and there's like 100 miles of crystals under Arkansas. There's tons of Sasquatch there. And yeah, I went with a friend on a woo-woo trip and we basically hung out with Sasquatch all week, a whole family of them, like even children.
They won't let us into our area yet. Number one, there's way too much snow. But number two, I guess the babies are out right now, according to my psychic Sasquatch lady, Robin McCrae, who you will have to have a conversation with. And she is the most amazing lady. And actually, next year, I'll be speaking at a Sasquatch conference that Robin helps out with in Nebraska. So,
Aw.
so that's going to be really cool to do that. But yeah, you need to talk to Robin because she has like total communication with them. We're not here for Sasquatch though. We got Lily Nova talking about ET experiences, CE5. How do you communicate with them aliens? Do you want some aliens? She's going to teach us how to do it next on the Mighty SOR. And Carl, wherever you are out there, come say hello. It's been 5 years, man. All right, we are clear. And you got a lot of your people in our audience tonight, so I want to say a big thank you for bringing a bunch of people. So I just want to explain to people who may not be familiar with us. We are a hybrid of a live radio show combined with live on YouTube and live on our podcast. So we have to take a commercial break at the bottom and top of the hour to time everything out with our radio stations. So you guys actually get behind the scenes of what we do. And so it is a little bit different, but it's the way we have to do things in order to accommodate our 8 radio stations that broadcast this show. So just bear with us, but you get to hang out with us and, see us, pick our teeth and all this. And look at those teeth. Look at those teeth. I told you that's at least Crest White Strips right there. At least Crest White Strips once a day.
I want to say hi to Jay and Katie. Yeah, I see a bunch of the fam in the chat. It's awesome to see you guys here. Paranormal Pixie, Nick, Chasing the Milk, Darby was here too. Thank you guys for coming to hang out.
Absolutely. And the one thing that we should ask, if you like Lily, you're going to love our style. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell. We are here 7 days a week for listening entertainment. We talk all woo all week, and including the weekends. And it's amazing. So if you could do that for us, we'd appreciate it. Let's give a shout out here to Hadley. Thanks for coming on in. Super crazy movie geek. Good to see you again. Nathan from the Quantum Show. Thanks for coming on in. Who else has arrived late? Aussie Rob, how's your ham hocks, buddy? Let us know. And who else has joined us here? Jennifer Rocho, or is it Rocco? I apologize. Welcome to SOR Chat. And Eve Clancy, nice to see you again. And I'm addicted to saying hello to people. Sharon Starseed, welcome to SOR Chat. General Sorrow, welcome to SOR Chat as well. And Annette Horn, thank you for tuning us in. Welcome. Stevie Franchise, nice to see you. We got a good crowd so far. Good crowd so far. Handsome crowd. Very handsome crowd. Mm-hmm. What do you drink? What was that weird bottle? That looks like a bottle of olive oil.
Just want to step in real quick, guys, as Dave takes his commercial break, and just say hey and kind of talk to maybe a couple people who have stepped in real quick. So we'll let his break continue. And as we do that, let me go ahead and jump into the comments, see who all has joined us lately. Jerry Lahane, Thank you for coming on in. Let's see. Anybody else that I may have missed that has come in? As we're watching this replay from April of 2023, the guest is Lily Holt, and the conversation is C5 contact with aliens. They are here, right? We know that they are. So I'll hop in on some of these breaks just to come back in and say, hey, but just remember, stick around because after the interview, once the interview concludes, we'll go ahead pick up in hour number 3, and we'll go ahead and get into some of the good stuff. So that's just me stopping in saying, hey, don't go anywhere. We'll go ahead. Yeah, and Tomorrow Man, this one originally aired April 10th. 2023, so just a little over a year ago. You heard Dave mentioning the Bigfoot convention that he said would be the following year, which would be this year. We know he just came back from that in Nebraska. So this is a replay / live show. So don't get it twisted, guys. We're still doing some live stuff tonight. We just want to go ahead and make sure that you guys get something going on. Yeah, Jennifer, maybe so. That's what we're probably looking at for hour 3. Maybe a little trivia, just a little fun stuff to kind of fill in the remaining part of the show. And so we'll go ahead and get into that. Dave's break should be over here pretty soon, so we'll go ahead, jump back in, and get back to the show like so.
Yeah, I know. There's no Taco Bell in my town. Rub it in, people. Rub it in. We got 30 seconds.
No Taco Bell, huh?
No. Thank you to Pam, Kira, Mike, and Louie for the amazing super chats. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. Hi, Tree Dances. How you doing? And don't forget, you can shop at our website, spacedoutradio.com. We got great gear, including the new FU Dave shirt. Here we go, everyone. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. It's great to hear you and see you watching us live here all over the world. I want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading the news wire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Here we go with Lily Nova. She has a YouTube channel by the same name, Lily Nova, and you want to check it on out if you want to learn about aliens, ETs, ET contact, DNA reprogramming, absolutely everything, psychic, intuitive healing, and how to protect your teeth. Lily, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks again for having me.
Not a problem. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there who are always like, and I'm sure you hear it too, they're like, I don't care what it is. I just need to know for myself. I want my own experience. How do I get in contact with some aliens? How do I make this happen?
I love helping people do that. So there's a few ways that you can do it. Going out and stargazing is going to help. Just spending some time outside, and don't just try, kind of like once and then, or just like, I don't want to cuss, but don't try it just once for like 5 minutes. Put a little bit of time into it, but go outside, spend some time outside, set the intention. Really, like, the most important thing is setting the intention, and then ask also. Ask. I asked to make contact with loving extraterrestrials, or you can say my star family. I like saying star family. It's just a very positive, word. And a lot of these beings, they are our family. So you set the intention, you ask, spend some time outside stargazing, and really meditation is going to be a really, really big help. I know, you said you don't know about, not good at meditation, but just try it. That's going to be phenomenal at helping you to reach a level of just a deeper level, because we're all connected through consciousness. So they can be on the other side of the galaxy. They can be in a whole other galaxy. But if you can kind of quiet your mind and focus on it for a minute, you can make contact with these beings.
How do you know you're getting good beings and not the bad ones?
And that's a good question. So that's why I like to tell people to set the intention to specifically that you are only making contact with benevolent beings, positive beings. I haven't had any negative contact experiences with extraterrestrials, but one time we were out doing CE5, which is human initiated contact with these UFOs. And somebody had a paranormal experience, like a negative paranormal experience. So that's whenever I learned the lesson, be specific about what you want to make contact with. And just being specific is really, really huge. Another part of it would be it's all about frequency and vibration. So do it whenever you're in an elevated frequency, whenever you are in elevated vibration, like whenever you're feeling good, whenever you're high vibe. Don't do it whenever you're don't try to reach out whenever you're in fear or angry, is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense.
The fact that we don't know what's out there and we can only assume, you do have to be careful with the intention. I fully agree with you. But it also does open up, and this is one thing I've learned, and maybe you could talk about it, is the minute you start getting contact, it is like shooting a Kmart blue light special beam about 1 billion miles into the stars. And everything that is flying into that area can now say, oh, that person's got some aliens. Okay, let's go check out that light and see what's going on. So it does open you up to a lot of different experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, after the extraterrestrials and the UFOs, I started seeing angels, I started seeing fairies, I started seeing Sasquatch, I started feeling even spirits. All those, it does, it really does open you up. So I think just being very specific, and then also setting strong energetic boundaries if you're going to do this sort of kind of spiritual work or connecting with these other realms. Setting energetic boundaries so that you're not just kind of letting anything in is important.
When you say energetic boundaries, explain that for people who may not understand.
So you can literally affirming it and setting the intention is super, super powerful. So it can even be as easy as that, just setting the intention. I'm not just any random energy floating down, the street can come mingle with me. I'm only setting the intention to make contact with positive beings. So setting that intention, and then you can also do visualization techniques where you visualize a platinum light or something around your house. Some people will do before bed, whenever they're going to sleep, they'll put a platinum bubble around them. It might sound kind of strange, but it actually is very powerful. So just visualizing actual boundaries around you whenever you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. How many different species of extraterrestrial now have you had contact with?
I've seen so many. Yeah, I've seen so many. So some big ones would be beings from Lyra, beings from the Pleiades, beings from Arcturus, beings from the star Sirius, beings from the Orion constellation, beings from the Andromeda galaxy, beings from the Andromeda constellation. There's been so many, and a ton of other ones where I don't even know where they come from. So definitely seen hundreds, if not more.
Is that while you're being taken on in craft or through meditation?
This is mostly through meditation, but so there's a new gift that I've been developing recently. Probably sounds out there, but this is what's happening to me. So usually I would see them through visions, visual telepathy. So I may see a ship, and then I close my eyes, and then they'll send me visions. And so I'll be able, or kind of like I'll be able to remote view them. So I may see their craft, or I may see, them, whatever they want to show me. They'll send me a message that way. More recently, I've been able to go outside, look up, or even just in my room and relax my eyes with my eyes open. And the first time this happened, I saw a ship up in the sky, but it wasn't like a physical ship. I could see it with my eyes, but it wasn't physical. It was like starting to phase into this dimension. And then it came right in front of me, moved up closer, and I could see a group of beings. This is like right in front of me, but they weren't physically there. I could see them. It's kind of hard to explain, but now I'm starting to be able to see into this other dimension. So I'll see them that way, even like while I'm in my room with my eyes open, or whenever I'm taking a bath, I'll just start seeing them, and I'll see them start doing stuff. Like they may do energy work on me or show me, multiple different beings or scenes with my eyes open. I do know that I go up on the ships a lot, and I haven't consciously been like awake and aware on the ship and being able to remember it yet, though. I have seen visions of it as I'm waking up, or just it's been kind of hazy, but I know I was up there, but I haven't consciously been up there and like walked around. So I'm starting to see them this other way while I'm awake and while I'm just sitting there. It's like I'm seeing into this other dimension.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool in regards to that. Now, are you doing a lot of this through channeling?
Yeah. I guess technically, yeah, that would be channeling, not trance channeling. Trance channeling is when basically a being comes into your body and speaks through you. So I don't do that. This is different. I'm channeling as in I'm connecting with them, and they're mostly sending me visions, and then I'm speaking whatever they're saying. Or for the healing sessions that I do and the live activations, they're actually connecting with my throat chakra, and I'm channeling that way. So I'll sense it, and then I'll say it, whatever message I get.
What's the most important message you've got from them?
The most important message is that we are much more than we've been led to believe. There's much more out there than we've been led to believe. One of the most important things that they were starting to teach me in the beginning was about our DNA and how incredibly powerful it is. Our DNA is considered royalty. There's a lot of potential. And scientists say that 95 to 97% of our DNA is junk DNA or dormant. So what they've taught me is that it's not dormant. It's actually very, very powerful DNA. So we're only functioning on about like 5% of our DNA and only about 5% of our brains. So part of what they're doing here, and part of what we're doing right now with this awakening and all of the shifting on the planet, is activating these other parts of ourselves. And life just becomes much more magical. You begin to develop new gifts and abilities, and life becomes just more exciting. Like manifesting becomes easier. We can be like superheroes essentially. So that's kind of been my favorite part about this whole thing, is knowing how truly powerful we are and remembering our history. So we have all of these gifts and abilities, and we're just kind of remembering it. We're a species with amnesia.
Why do you think we're not allowed to remember what's gone on in our past prior to our incarnation here? Or excuse me, even with our contact, we only seem to get little snippets of it, and they only give us little traces. of memory to remind us that we have had something strange happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's so dense here on Earth that if we remembered what it was like in other places, we wouldn't like it here at all. Because it's very, very dense. We've got a lot of emotions and there's a lot of corruption and all of these things. So I think we kind of that's part of the reason why we had to forget all of that, or else we wouldn't want to be here. Um yeah, and besides that, they give us little bits and pieces at a time, so I'm still figuring it all out myself. Each one of us has a piece to the puzzle, and I think this is much bigger than any of us know, because there's a lot of different types of beings who are interested in us, and just so many different things going on simultaneously at the same time. So it's just much grander than I think any of us even realizes.
I can see that. Now, for all your contact that you have you had negative contact, or have you lucked out so far?
I haven't had any negative contact with extraterrestrials. I have had negative contact with other paranormal things, like negative energies, not an extraterrestrial. Um, so I've had that, and that's not fun. Um, I have had past life memories. So this started happening as well. I didn't know about reincarnation, or I didn't know about any of this stuff before these UFOs started coming. And then I started seeing some of my past lives. So I have seen like galactic wars in some of these past life memories that have come up. So there's definitely like duality out there. But here I haven't had any negative contact that I am aware of.
Do you feel lucky about that? Because a lot of people who have had a lot of positive ET contact have also eventually and unfortunately got the bad stuff that comes along with it too. You got to,
Mhm.
it's like different strokes. You got to take the good, or the facts of life rather. You got to take the good, to take the bad, and take them both. There you have the facts of life, right?
Yeah, definitely. I do feel very lucky. I think there's definitely way more positive than negative, but for some reason right now, like we were kind of chatting about a little bit before, it seems like a lot of kind of like the negativity is coming up to the surface at this time, and it's kind of being purged. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going on also in the media and all that, and just we're doing a lot of healing at this time, so all that stuff is kind of like coming up to the surface, and we're cleaning up a lot of these negative energies at this time. But yeah, I feel very fortunate, but I think anybody can have a very positive experience with these benevolent beings. I think the negative experiences are much less frequent, and they will become much less frequent as we go.
All right. We have about 8 minutes to go here before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Lily Nova is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We will get to audience questions in hour number two. Lily, for you, the contact has been fast and furious for that. Have you ever figured out, or has any of the beings told you why they've pushed so much onto your shoulders so quickly?
Yeah, that's a good question. I call it basically boot camp because, like I said, I was like a clean slate. And then just the past 2.5 years, it's just been boom, 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 boom. Even some people, they're like, tell the beings, tell the ETs to give you a break because each day I'm like learning something new and doing something, working through something. Um, yeah, I call it Starseed Boot Camp is what I call it, what I've been through. And I'm noticing other people are starting to go through this too. But yeah, it's pretty intense. I think part of the reason why is because I didn't grow up my whole life like being aware of these things. I had a
Right.
very, very normal life. Pretty not very normal, but kind of normal life before this. No UFOs and aliens, at least, before 2 years ago.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I lived a happily boring life before them damn aliens got me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to ask you this. There's a lot of critics out there about people such as yourself, myself, who've had some amazing, extraordinary experiences that seem so sci-fi and futuristic that they don't seem real at all. And they
Yeah.
try and judge us on our emotions. Well, you talk so casually about it, like it's no big deal. Like if this happened to me, I'd be like, jaw dropped and trying to figure it out. How do you react to critics who say, Lily, you're trying to do it to make money, you're trying to do it for a little bit of fortune and fame, get on TV shows, get on the conference circuit? What do you tell your critics?
Man, I haven't had anybody say that to me. I don't think.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't had anybody quite say that to me. In the beginning, whenever I was sharing my footage, I did have a lot of critics. Um, because, people want to say, oh, that's just this, or oh, that's just that, oh, that's a drone, whatever. So I dealt with it a lot then, but now I think I've created a pretty nice safe space with my YouTube community and on my YouTube where I don't deal with much hate. Fortunately, anymore at least. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. It's still one of those things, though, that is, in my opinion, very interesting with
Mhm.
how people react and how mad they get.
Mhm.
I mean, it's amazing
Well,
how
yeah.
mad some of these critics get.
Yeah, and it's also because you're changing their paradigm. You're changing their whole reality and they don't like that. To know that something that this actually exists. I could see how people would really try to avoid that like the plague, some people. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that too. I could see that too. For you, though, I mean, this is something that you have changed your entire life around with the ETs. Did the ETs ask you to change your career and your path, or did you feel it just necessary that there was a higher circumstance that you were needed for?
Yeah, I knew this was really big. They didn't like per se ask me, but I definitely felt very inspired to continue pursuing this. And there was one point where I had quit my job as a nutritionist. I was teaching nutrition and cooking classes. I quit right after that happened, shortly after the UFOs started showing up. I was in kind of like a dark place, like at the time. And then these UFOs started showing up. And I began making contact with them, initiating contact with them. Every single day, I would go out at sunset or at night and initiate contact with them. Sometimes they'd show up as orbs. I was beginning to kind of feel them and feel their messages and feel all of this love. And after a while of that, it had been like 6 months, and I'm going out and doing that every single day. I wasn't working at the time. I asked them, I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I'm out here making contact every single day, but what is the end game here? And as I was asking that, I looked up and I was passing a street sign that said revolution. And whenever I saw that, I just knew that this was big. We're starting and fueling a revolution with this. It's very, very important. So since then, I haven't looked back at anything else since because I just know it's so, so important. So they kind of, yeah, they didn't really ask me. They inspired me. And I felt it very deeply in my heart and soul too, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
The passion and desire that you have grown for this career and this new age of life that you're in, it really is a revolution within yourself in
Yeah.
order to build this. The the support that you've got from your spiritual side, as well as the community that you have built, how has that changed the perception of the way you now look at humanity and at life, as we got about 2 minutes to go here?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Well, how has this new change
Mhm.
really affected the way you view life
Mhm.
on a grand scale and on a personal scale?
Mhm. How I view life. Yeah, I mean, it's changed everything. It definitely, just having one of these experiences changes everything for you. I mean, I live in a whole different world than I think most people live in. But it's exciting. It's exciting for me. I have a lot of hope because I know that we can do and create beautiful things. I see more of the beauty of life, and then I also see a lot of the old crap that's corrupted that needs to go. So that's where my focus is, mostly just creating the new. But it also has really it's taught me love. One of the biggest things that these beings have taught me and showed me is love, and with my spiritual side. I've never felt so much love before. It's hard to explain. And once you get a taste of that, like, that's what you want. That's what you want to experience. And it's so beautiful. So I don't know, I love it.
Well, we got to find out about this love thing, because if it's bringing that much peace, love, we got to bring that to the people too. We do have to bring that to the people too, because that's what it's all about. It really is a universal message, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm so passionate about it, the love, and I want to help guide others to experience that as well.
I agree. We're going to get into that more, and we'll take some of your questions if you're in one of our chat rooms hanging on out tonight, or on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Lily Nova is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, and you can check her on out on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. Lily Nova Starseed. I'm subscribed. You need to subscribe. Why not? It's what it's all about. Get to know each other on a spiritual plane, much higher than the meat suits that we wear on a daily basis. Spaced Out Radio. We'll be right back right after this. All right, Lily, we got about 6 minutes. I'm going to put you back in the green room, and I'm going to disappear.
All right, all right. We are going back live right now. Let me go ahead and mute this so it does not distract me here. All right, yeah. So we're live during these breaks here as we go ahead and go through this actually awesome replay. Lily Nova, we all had a laugh, right? Because Dave is referencing the Facts of Life. So we know he's a tootie head. He's a definitely Facts of Life guy. As we come in here, let's go ahead and see who else has stepped in the building for this awesome replay. See, you thought it was a replay, but technically it's not. It's a live show. We just happen to be watching one of the older interviews, and because there's a bunch of stuff that happened behind that. But welcome to the show tonight, Joe Monk in the building, Paul Perez. I did see you come in. Thank you for coming in tonight as we watch this replay. Let's see. Let me make sure that did not pause, guys, as I think it did. Okay, there we go. All right. And while we're waiting for Dave to come back from break on that replay, let me see who else is in here. Me Woken, thanks for coming on in. We appreciate you. Peter Birdsall, thank you for coming in on the replay as we watch live, technically, the replay for various reasons. You can rewind the video and you'll understand why we had to do this. But I definitely want to make sure we had a place to hang out, which is what we're doing. And technically it's live, and we will be doing our final hour live once this interview concludes. So welcome, Christine. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Aloha, Dave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad that you're here with us tonight. Let's see who else has come in during the show. Let me move back here. Sergeant Slackass. Sergeant Slackass. Yeah, I can say it's not a bad word. Thanks for coming on in. Appreciate you, Doug Shelby. Thanks for coming on in here. We're having a great time tonight together as we get through it. I had to do it. I wasn't going to do it at first, just to give you a brief thing because of guest issue. But I went into the after hours chat, and Mike Bothwell, Mary, and Deb from Sacramento said, "Hey, you know what? Let's still do. We want a place to hang out." I'm like, you know what? Who am I to stand in the middle of that? Which is why we are here right now, getting this in this evening, and I think that's it as far as new people in. I do want to bring up, while we're waiting for Dave in the magical chair to come back, to kind of show something real quick, right? Tomorrow, guys, make sure, if you can, if you're available, come on over to the Social Dig. This is my channel right here. So right here, this is my channel right here. It's the Social Dig right here on YouTube. We have a lot of awesome shows over there. I'm in season 2 now. Season 1, we ran about 45 episodes. We're like 3 episodes. This will be the 3rd episode of season 2. We will be tackling, as it says there, post disclosure, the government plan. What's the government plan if catastrophic disclosure hits? Who knows? Who knows? We're going to be going over various scenarios and things that could be possible if tomorrow catastrophic disclosure slaps the government in the face. Their plan is controlled disclosure. They want a slow drip for the next 100 years. But if we happen to get something, if we get ETs landing on a White House lawn tomorrow, what does the government do? What is their game plan, their backup plan, if that ends up happening? Going to be an interesting show. Make sure that you guys are there. This is the channel you can find me on, youtube.com/at Mr. Rob G. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. I have a vast archive of really deep conversations. I've interviewed Preston Dennett over there, Jim Goodall. I've interviewed Tim Senor, who told his UFO story, his family story. I said Lou Jimenez, right? From Lou Reviews. Awesome back and forth that we had on my channel. So you definitely want to make sure you go over there and subscribe if you're not there. We're always adding new shows. You know, I'm balancing after hours and my own channel at the same time, but we got some quality stuff. And if you guys come tomorrow, I set the show for 3 p.m. Pacific. We've done Scientology. We will continue to do that because there's a big problem there. And a lot of the tough conversations, right, is what we have over there. We also host occasionally a late night call-in show, which we have viewers like yourself come up on stage and talk about your experiences. So there's a lot of awesome stuff going on over at my channel, the Social Dig. Make sure you guys go ahead and consider doing that. Dave is coming back from break, so we will jump back into the show. Here we go.
What you got to do is go to spacedoutradio.com. There you go. Here we go.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. SACAD. SACAD is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as a clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Here we go once again. Lily Nova is our guest tonight on the big show. Her YouTube channel is Lily Nova Starseed. You want to go hit subscribe on that because she has an amazing channel where she does everything from teaching you how to do CE5 contact with extraterrestrials and UFOs to meditation and self-healing. Lily, thank you so much for being here tonight. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. Hello, everybody.
Well, we kind of enjoy your company around here. We do. And Lily, before we get to some audience questions, I was thinking during the break about just your own life and how it's changed and how you're doing this. What is the reaction from people who have followed your brief yet extremely storied career in this? You know, how are you helping people?
Mm, yeah, that's a good question. I'm helping open people's minds, even like my brother, my family, people that I'm just meeting on the street are actually kind of reacting to this fairly well. At first, it was kind of, weird or taboo, but helping to make this a less taboo thing and helping it to become more normalized. But then also with, my community on YouTube, helping to empower people and helping them to just create like these meaningful relationships with themselves, spiritually, with these other beings, discovering who they truly are, the power that they have within. I see massive transformations through, like, I do guided activations and meditations on YouTube. And just seeing transformation in people, like insane, amazing transformation, spontaneous healings, all of these amazing things. So it's just really exciting. It's nice to be able to help people.
It very much is. And the idea that you are teaching people how to get in contact with ETs, is this what the ETs want? Is this something that they are hoping to do, is to try and transform humanity?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. A lot of these beings, they are like our family. You can think of them as like older brothers and sisters. And eventually we're going to be joining the galactic community. We're going to be a spacefaring species. And I think it's going to happen in our lifetime. So they're helping us to prepare for this. And they're also going to be helping us with technology, with medicines. Imagine a world where there's free energy, where you don't have to worry about bills as much, or, if you can pay your power bill, all of these things. We'll have so much more time to do what we really enjoy, and also reducing sickness. So they're helping us to transform the earth and making it a peaceful place and a prosperous place, which is exciting.
Somebody who comes at this whole ET contact from a different angle, like you do, like I do, and a number of others, we see what's going on in the world, especially how UFOs have become very politicized over the last couple of years here. And, this kind of actually leads into my Dave 101 tonight with, government officials saying, what, we don't want you civilians to be in our way. Let us deal with it. We're the pros. How do you handle something like that when here you never asked for this, much like none of us ever asked for it? It just kind of happened to you. You've been put in this situation where you've become a voice for people regarding UFOs, extraterrestrials, and contact. Where do you stand on what's happening around the world, especially in the United States, regarding how political this entire UFO movement has become?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's definitely different narratives going on. And I honestly, like, I wouldn't trust the media. There's always an angle with that. So I encourage people to discover it for themselves. I think there's people in the government that they know what's going on. They've known this for a very long time, but they've been trying to suppress it because then that would mean free energy and technology and things that then we wouldn't need oil anymore. So for those reasons, I feel like it has been suppressed, but I feel like the vast majority of people, even probably in the government, don't they haven't known this about any of this either. So they're starting to try and figure it out as well. But I would definitely be careful about the different narratives out there. We're seeing a lot in the media that there's different agendas. So that's why I just encourage people to kind of the cliche, like going within, don't watch the news or reduce that as much as possible, because it's just going to be confusing. It's to kind of confuse people and invoke fear, really.
Okay, so with you doing CE5 and teaching CE5 pretty much for free on how people are doing it, how do you look at people, say like Dr. Stephen Greer, who charges for his CE5 events somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000 for a weekend to contact aliens? I mean, doesn't this just make you shake your head and say, and wonder how people are just desperate to have this happen, that they'll pay exorbitant amount of money for things they can do from their own home?
Well, thank you for highlighting that, because I put all of my blood, sweat and tears and passion and love into this, and it is free. A lot of it is free on YouTube. Uh, I do appreciate Dr. Stephen Greer, but I think that is probably kind of like that's a little bit of a downfall that uh, he charges a lot for things like that, whenever you could literally go in your backyard and do this, or you can do it from home, finding a group of people to do it with. So it's really about like kind of building that community. And yeah, but I do appreciate, I found Dr. Stephen Greer not too long after this started happening to me, and I was already making contact with these UFOs and having these experiences. And then I discovered him randomly, and I was like, oh my god, somebody else is doing this. And I dug into some of his work, and I do think he does a good job at explaining how we're all connected through consciousness, and does a good job at bringing it.
Real quick here, guys. As it says on the screen, I just had to pause the video. We're going to go right back to it and finish up. But I wanted you to know that literally as we're sitting here doing this show, I get a text message. My phone is blowing up, and it's my lady. She's sending me links to Ring, right? And I can't pull them up. So she comes in the studio as we are doing that. And I'm trying to curate the video and get it to where it's in the show, Christine. And I'm going to get back to it. So we may interrupt this once I get the video ready to play. But I'm sitting here as the show is airing, as we're doing this, and my phone is blowing up, and it's a bunch of messages from her with links to Ring. So I'm thinking maybe someone's outside messing with the cars or something along those lines. And she actually comes in right after we close the last break here, the last break we had. She actually comes in the studio, and she's visibly shaken. She shows me the videos. We have in our house, next to our house, we have like a mother-in-law quarters, right? It's a separate like apartment unit sort of thing. And we have Ring cameras in there too. Now, remember, I told you about the knocking that triggered the ring cameras about a month ago. They're just knocking, the dogs barking, and the Ring camera was tripped. The video that she just showed me, and we're going to watch here as soon as I can get it loaded into the system here, is an orb floating around the living room area of the mother-in-law quarters. 3 different videos. She goes in there because she's, she wants to see what's going on, and you see her come into the building, and the orb is still there moving around. She does not see this. She turns the lights on, and she does not see this orb. It was only being picked up on the Ring camera, but it was enough to trigger the Ring camera. Freaky stuff. There's something going on here at this house. I told you guys, in this, I'm bringing you guys receipts. I always bring you receipts. We're going to bring those. I'm currently trying to get them uploaded. But until then, I need you guys to kick back or watch some more of this video. And as soon as I get these loaded in, we'll switch right over to viewing those. Crazy developments here at the house. Dude, scary. So you guys hang tight. Let's watch more of this interview, and let me get the videos up here, man. Very, very disturbing.
To more of like the public's attention in, a scientific way. So I do appreciate him, but yeah, that is very expensive for, you can do this on your own time. You can do this in your backyard or, at a local spot for free.
I agree with you. And it just blows my mind, because realistically, if you have the right people with the right intentions, a lot of really cool things can happen when you're feeding off of everybody else's energy. And I don't think a lot of people take advantage of that. I mean, you don't need to find a spiritual group that has, that is all about mushrooms and ayahuasca and other psychedelics. You don't need that. You just need to be able to have a bunch of like-minded people with clear intentions on trying to make things happen. And it may not happen the first 1 time, 5 times, 10 times, but if you continue to put the intention out there, things start to happen all around you.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Your intention is the most important part of it. Setting and having kind of like that pure mindset. Like they're probably not going to show up if all you want to do is, do it for the Instagram and get a picture, or you just want to see it so that you could say that you've seen it. But if you really, really want to have an experience and you ask for that and set that intention, something is eventually going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you. Let's get to some audience questions here because they are starting to rack up. Let's start off with Brown Dwarf tonight, who is asking, have you ever, Lily, had communication or contact through dreams?
Yeah, that's actually kind of one of my favorite ways that they make contact because it's very, very deep, very deep. That's one of the 3 ways that they really, really make contact. So if you've ever had a dream of like a UFO or being on a ship or of a being, that wasn't just a dream. Like you were having some sort of a contact experience. So yes, I do. And often they'll give me messages through dreams.
All right, let's go to Ocean. Lily, have you ever had contact with the Irma?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is, so I'm not positive.
River City Kings, how can people watch ET craft videos on your webpage?
So I did have a lot of it on my Instagram, but that got taken down. So I do have some on my YouTube channel. I have a recent UFO CE5 video that I posted that's on my front page. I have 2 other videos, one of them being how to make contact with UFOs in my CE5 story. And there's a lot of my UFO footage in that video. And then I also have a video how to photograph UFOs in the spiritual world. And I have a lot of examples of my footage in that video as well on my YouTube.
Very cool. Let's go to John. Does meditation help remember lost time?
Yeah, I think so. And hypnosis. I think a lot of people could probably benefit from hypnosis because your subconscious remembers more. They were actually just nudging me to do that earlier. As I was waking up from my nap, they were like, you're going to remember some interesting things if you do hypnosis. So you can do hypnosis, you can find a practitioner, or you can do a meditation. You could probably find a bunch of free hypnosis videos on YouTube that will definitely help you to remember.
Number of people in our chat room right now asking, why were your videos taken off of Instagram?
Well, so there was officially there was different people that were popping up, different accounts that were acting like me. They were imposters and they were like scamming people, trying to scam people. Apparently that's actually very common on Instagram, unfortunately. Like, it makes me sick. So that happened a few times, and we'd have to report them and get them taken down. And then suddenly, just one day, they suspended my account because they said I was pretending to be somebody else. So that was the official reason, but it could have been, other reasons too, but that's just what they made the official reason. So really no reason. It was like a misunderstanding or a personal stab at me. I'm not sure.
All right, let's continue on. Mike is asking, have you ever been part of a hybrid breeding project that you know of?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Still trying to figure that one out?
Yeah, bits and pieces of that that's been one of the most recent things that I've been experiencing and learning. But I do believe that the hybrid programs are way more common than we would think. Very common. And I also believe that some of us have more hybridized DNA also, just as humans. So we're kind of like in a hybrid program ourselves, but then a lot of us in contactees are also involved in hybrid programs off world. Yeah.
Have you met your hybrid children yet?
I have seen a few recently. Yeah. I haven't even announced that on my channel yet. But yes.
It is a trippy experience when you go through that. And I don't think a lot of people understand the mental fortitude you need in order to try and wrap your head around the fact that you have been used in the hybridization program.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a big one. At first they showed me I was getting my toes wet, I guess. They showed me that I had hybrid brothers and sisters from my mother. So they showed me that first, and I had to wrap my head around that. And then they kept showing me like children. And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Like, nope, 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 nope. And then eventually I did meet some of them. And so it took me a few months, and I'm still processing it, really. But yeah, so I agree with that.
I have met one.
Wow.
And what I recall of seeing this child was after a horrid experience that I had. And I saw the little gray who performed that horrid experience on me. And I was yelling at him about my sweet revenge that I'm going to get on him next time. And all of a sudden, something caught the corner of my eye. And I watched a little toddler who looked like he was just getting ready to walk, learning how to walk. Kind of, how babies do that duck walk.
Mhm.
And what I recall on that, and what freaked me out about it, was the diaper. The diaper was luminescent green, glowing green with red and black veins running through it.
Wow.
And that child never ever looked at me. Just followed this being around.
Wow.
And it tripped me out. Tripped me out big time. And I know there was a little bit of that conversation when I went under with Geraldine Orozco a year ago, and that I've kind of held to myself. But it is a very, very intense thing to learn about. It very much is.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It is. It's wild. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Let's go to the Michael Leger. Lily, what is our history here on planet Earth that they've told you?
Yeah, so they've shown me bits and pieces, and they've shown me flying saucers with dinosaurs. They show me a lot of this through visions. So there's been UFOs, flying saucers, beings here for millions of years. They've also shown me Atlantis and Lemuria, which was another ancient advanced civilization. So we were very advanced, and a lot of us, I found through the reading sessions that I do on other people, a lot of us actually were in Atlantis also. And it's like we stuck around. So we're like doing it again. But so Atlantis basically fell. There was a cataclysm. And now there are people who are starting to discover and be able to scientifically back this up. So Atlantis fell, tsunamis, and we kind of like restarted civilization and humanity reset. They've also shown me beings, extraterrestrials, specifically one with light blue skin and no hair, but they looked very human. And also these Nordic looking beings, the Pleiadians, with Native Americans teaching them agriculture and how to farm back in ancient times. So they've been here teaching us also and guiding throughout time, throughout ancient civilization. And ancient Egypt is a big part of our history as well. That was created after Atlantis fell.
All right, let's continue on. Let's go to the UK. Tony is asking, what are your thoughts about the very recent video released by the U.S. government in regards to UFOs? And what do you think it's and what it's doing and what it's for? Like, are you paying attention much to that?
Not so much. I know recently there was some talk about, it was all in news, how they shot down these balloons or shot down these UFOs or unidentified. I don't believe that those were actual like extraterrestrial UFOs that got shot down. Yeah, I don't think so. They wouldn't. They're too smart for that.
Oh, yes. I would totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you. All right, let's continue on here. Let's go to Paramarv. Are you in touch with other Starseed folks? If so, there's some known common objective or goal that you're working toward?
Oh yeah, of course. There's so many online, and there's so many more just awakening and being drawn to this type of information all of the time. So I've met a lot of people through my YouTube channel, Lily Nova Starseed. And our common goal is remembering who the heck we are, figuring out what the heck is going on Earth, and then also helping to shift the planet, helping to, reach our highest potential and just make life-changing transformation to the planet, like herbal medicine, technology, just the whole planet needs a reboot. So that's really what our main goal is.
That's kind of heavy. That's
Yeah.
kind of heavy. All right, let's continue on here with more audience questions. We got about 2 minutes to go before we got to go to break. At the bottom of the hour, Lily Nova is our guest tonight. Local Boy is asking, do ETs believe in a higher being?
I love that question. So ETs are actually the ones who taught me about spirituality. And after, seeing these UFOs and making contact with these beings, after that is whenever I developed a relationship with God or source or, these higher beings. So yes, they absolutely do.
Rocket 9 wants to know, how long have these ETs been contacting humanity the way they do with you?
It's been a really long time. Like I said, they've shown me bits and pieces of like ancient Native American cities, and the Native Americans know about contact. They know that they're related to these beings that come from the Pleiades star cluster. It's in their spirituality. It's in their legends. So this has been going on for a very, very long time, and it's gonna definitely about to pick up more, I believe.
I think so too. I think there's something going on. Haven't figured it out yet, but I think there's something going on. We'll try and squeeze in one more question here. Do the ETs have the cure for diseases like cancer If yes, why can't we get it?
I believe so, yeah. And I think that they've probably already tried giving it to us, but it's been suppressed. And I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but time and time again, you see a lot of like Nikola Tesla. He like had free energy, using energy coming from the ground. And apparently all of his documents were stolen by the FBI or whatever whenever he died. So I think it's already been out there. It's just been suppressed. So really, yeah, we got to get the corrupt people out of the picture. Really is kind of like the number one priority.
That is great advice. Lily, I'm going to get you to hold on right there as we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour on Spaced Out Radio. We have her till the top of the hour, Lily Nova, talking Alien CE5, which is Close Encounter 5, true ET contact. How do you do it? Can you do it from your own home? Sure you can. You got to be like Random Guy. Just call in them aliens. They'll show up at the foot of your bed. Why not? He got aliens. Lily's got aliens. I got aliens. You can have your own aliens too. Just ask for them. We'll find out. You think I'm making fun of this, but I'm actually not. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Stay tuned. Woohoo! We're cruising tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and now pause the video since we have Lily out in the chat. So shout out to Lily. We're going into the interview, so we sadly won't be able to finish this interview, but it is in the archive, guys. So you already know where to find this, and we should be having Lily on soon. So we'll have her here on the after hours, and we will have an excellent interview. So I'll be reaching out to you very shortly, Lily, so we can book a date, and then you guys will know for sure she's coming on, coming soon here. Okay, so where do we start? So actually, here's what we'll do since we are at the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and just do our normal little break real quick, and I'll come back, and then we'll get this going here. So as we get this going, let's go ahead and get back on track and get ready to jump into the break.
Conversations that move the needle.
Conversations that move the needle.
You're listening to After Hours with Mr. Rob G on the only place where you can own the night. Spaced Out Radio.
Spaced Out Radio. You've tuned your dial to the right frequency.
All right, guys, welcome back to Spaced Out Radio after hour number 3. And when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, things get crazier, right? I'm going to go over the timeline and I'm going to touch a few things here. And I'm going to do this also on my own personal channel more in detail, but to give you the gist of this, right? So 2 years ago, almost 2 years, 2 years ago, coming August, will be 2 years since the first any sort of sighting I've ever had. And that would be an epic one with 47 UFOs, which I'm actually going to show the video for those who haven't seen it. We're going to do that. So prior to a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I hadn't had any sightings or any direct correlation or connection to this phenomena or what in the world is going on with it. So it's creepy, right? And here's the thing. When these stories get told, and we talk to a lot of experiencers, you can listen to some stories and be like, wow, that's so way off, that's so far off. Did that really happen? There definitely are people in the community that embellish stories and some that simply make stories up. Truthfully, they'll have stories without receipts or without evidence. Now, we're going to look at some or a few things that I have here. I'm going to tell you how this all went, but it just so happens that every situation that we've run into, I've had receipts. Now, I don't know what you want to call that. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? But if you know me by now. I'm a no BS person. I would never embellish anything. I stay middle of the road. But I'm about to go over some things with you that should make you understand that this phenomenon is real. And then we have to question what it is, man. And then also I have to internally find out why all this stuff is happening to me. I almost wanted to curse there because that's how crazy it is. And so I'm going to go, and let me just start it off with this. I get a call from Dave Scott 10 minutes ago. And he's all kind of excited and stuff. I don't know if he's watching the show tonight or whatnot. But I kind of laid out what we're doing tonight and told him what happened to me with the orbs and that we're about to show this. Dave Scott tells me, and he's going to share more about this on tomorrow's show. He said it's definitely okay to let you guys know. Dave Scott was on one of his ghost tours that he does and experienced one of the participants ended up getting possessed, ended up experiencing a possession where he said this person was bent over in an L shape and could not get up. And he had to exercise sort of or release this possession, right? Which is bananas and bonkers to hear, but this is fresh from Dave Scott. He called me 15 minutes ago and told me this. So I told him I would share it here. So I'm sure he's going to get more into that tomorrow. That is insane. Okay. I mean, when we start thinking about this and how real this stuff is. So let's start out with my own experiences. No experiences in my life up until almost 2 years ago, where I had 47 UFOs that I filmed with these white orb spheres sort of things in the sky that seemed to be alive almost. And okay, so we're going to fast forward on that. Maybe a few months after that, or maybe even during that time frame, in this studio that I'm in now, I would hear literal footsteps walking across the roof. I mean, no confusing what it was that I was hearing. Literal, directly above my head, walking across the roof at 2 a.m, footsteps on the roof, like someone is up there walking. Okay. We don't have an attic, but we do have a crawl space. Now, I've gone through all during the time this was happening, I've gone through all the prosaic explanations on what that could be. The only thing I could come to is someone had to be on the roof, a physical person, right? Which didn't make any sense to me at all. But it was still the thing that I went to because it's the only thing that made sense, right? So I go out. This is happening over a period of weeks. It's creeping me out, right? To the point to where, and it's happening, and it's so prevalent that it caused me to walk out of the studio into the garage area, and we have an opening that goes into the crawl space, and I literally went there to see if there was anyone in there, right? Sounds bananas, but this happened. So following that, within, I'd say we sit down in the time for my head is all messed up right now because of what just happened. But within about, I'd say 6 months, few months, I can't really think of the number right now. I'm kind of off right now, but we're sitting down at dinner, myself, my girl, my daughter, my son. We're talking, and I decide to bring it up. I'm just like, hey, have you guys heard anything weird? Like, and then I go into it. I'm like, I'm hearing these footsteps. It's like someone's walking across the roof in the middle of the night. And I keep hearing this day after day after day. So my girl's like, no, I haven't heard anything. My son's like, no, you didn't hear anything. And my daughter says, I've been hearing them as well. Sounds like someone's walking across the roof, and she's on the total opposite side. I'm in towards the front of the house where my studio is at, and her room is on the opposite side of the house. So we come to that realization that we both are hearing whatever this is, right? So I'm beginning to feel like this is something maybe paranormal, maybe, right? And I've never been this person, and this is what you have to understand. I've not been this lifelong spooky things and seeing things. This is not who you're talking to here. You talk to a person that has only recently come into this and experienced this. So a few months passes after that conversation, and you guys have all seen this, and I'm going to show it again. But we ended up having my daughter, she was actually doing TikTok dances with the friends on FaceTime. So she had her phone like mounted on her door, and then she would stand in the hallway and do these TikTok dances. Well, as she was doing that, she had to go to the restroom. So the phone is still sitting there. She goes to the restroom. While she's in the restroom, her friends on FaceTime see something, and they hit the button on the screen to capture the screen to take the picture. And she comes out the restroom, and they tell her, there's something in your house. There's someone, or there's something in your house. And then they send her the picture that they had taken. And literally, my girl and myself, we were coming in from out of town somewhere, I think maybe Sacramento, somewhere, and it was late. So when we got in, it was maybe midnight. So we get in, I come to the studio to kind of set everything, and this is kind of like the man cave as well. Well, she tells my girl what happened, and I guess shows the picture. Then they bring me into it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, do you know what that is? Like, do you know what you have a picture of? And I explained to her that maybe you should look at, because I didn't want to scare her because it was middle of the night. So I tell her, you should look into, there's something called shadow people. And so she did. She looked into it, and by the next morning, I asked her again if she had a chance to look into it, and she said yes. And she was in total like fear of what it was that she ended up finding out about these things. Right? Let me show you the picture. So well, let me finish. Let me finish first. So we have a full picture of a shadow person, which I'll show you. It's right here, actually. Let me just show it. This is the shadow person that was caught on her phone. Her phone is sitting on a mount. She would be standing in front of this phone doing the TikTok dances as kids do, right? And so while she's in the restroom, her friends see this down the hall and they hit the button on the screen to capture it. Obviously, at the top right, you can see where these are the other people in the conversation, right? So creepy, freaky, right? Freaky. If you zoom in, you can see this is full body shadow person. Doesn't belong to anyone in this house. The lighting in this house wouldn't even allow a shadow to be cast in that fashion. So full blown shadow person. Okay. So I've told you guys about this. So that happened. I think the shadow person incident was in 2022. It was in 2022, at the end of 2022. And so we had gone maybe a full year, right? Because about a month or so ago, we hadn't had anything happen since this. About a month or so ago, I'm in the studio again, and I'm actually on video chat with my girl. She's in the front. Literally, her work area is right next to where you see the shadow person. So to the right of this shadow person is her work area and where she was. And this was middle of the day at the time we're doing this FaceTime. And she asked me, did I knock on anything? And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So I come out there and come to find out our ring camera, which is positioned to the left in this shot here, to the left, pointing this way towards the shadow person. The ring camera gets triggered because she says she heard the knocking, the dogs went crazy, and she didn't see. She looked outside, she looked around. There was no way that anyone could have knocked. So I tell her, if the ring camera triggered, let's look at the video. So she pulls the video up, and I actually think I have that too. Let me see. I think she was able to send that to me. Yes, this is the knocking. Okay, good. So it'll download. So I want to show you this because this is very crazy. So the ring camera gets triggered in the middle of the day. As soon as the ring camera gets triggered, you see our dogs. We have 4 dogs. They all start barking at once, crazy. And you see my girl walking to the frame, like looking around, like what's going on? Where's the knocking come from? It's gonna trip you out. But I told you guys about that. And then as we're sitting here doing this show tonight, the ring camera notification goes off again. But this time we have a side house. It's a full house on the side, like an apartment. And the ring camera in there was triggered multiple times. And she goes to check the video and she notices an orb floating around the room. Okay. She goes in to check it out herself. Brave soul, right? Because I don't know if I would have done that. I don't know if that would have been my first thought to do that, to go by myself. I'd have probably brought someone. But she goes in there and you see her on the video, and the orb is still there, but she can't see this thing with their naked eye. She's looking around. She saw what the orb was in the video before she went in there. And so she's knowing where to look based on the video. So she goes in there, the orb is still there, and you see her walk in and she doesn't see anything. So, and then I also have a video with the room after the orb just disappeared. So we got something going on in this house. The phenomenon is very real. I'm going to go ahead and show you first the knocking video. So you see the shadow person. There's no doubt what this is. It's very evident what you're seeing here. You've seen the UFO video, which I'm still going to play later. And these are receipts. And let me see if I can share the video from the thing here. So let me see. I'm looking for the downloads. Okay, so this one I believe is the video of the knocking. Let me see. Bear with me, guys. Make sure I show these in the right order. Okay. Let me see if somehow I can get this into the show. All right, I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to share this with you here. Will it do an entire screen? No, window, media player. Boom. All right. So you guys can see this here. Let me get this message off the screen here. Okay. This is our Ring camera. So in the video, the shadow person would be, I don't know if you can see, right around this corner, right? This is the hallway over here, and the shadow person would have been right around this corner. This is the video and this doesn't turn, the camera doesn't turn on unless some motion triggers it. I don't see anything in the frame that would have triggered it. And here we go. Oh, hide that. Okay, here we go.
Somebody knocked on the door somewhere.
So she's looking around the house for anything. She's already at the front door. She checked that. There's no one there. She's looking in the backyard. There's nothing there.
Robert, was that you?
And she's asking if it's me.
Robert, was that you?
Now I'm going to go back. Please let me know in the chat if you heard the knocking. Did you hear the knocking? I'm going to play it again.
Somebody knocked on the door.
Yeah, I'm sorry if the dogs are loud, but she's looking through the backyard. She's already checked the front yard.
Robert, was that you?
Okay. Okay, right? Right? Did you hear the knocking? Let me go back to the chat here. Please give me ones if you heard the knocking. Can you give me ones if you heard the knocking? Clear as a bell, right? Clear as a bell. No one at the front door. No one in the back. I mean, there wouldn't be anyone in the back, but she checked anyways. No one would be in the back. We have a gate in the front, so you got to come through a gate to get to the front door. Okay? This knocking was clear as a bell, and this is the middle of the day. All right? And she's coming from the area where the shadow person, the picture of the shadow person was taken, right? Okay. Now, let's get into what just happened as we were sitting here. So I have a few different videos. I don't know if you guys, hold on. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me make sure. Yeah, you guys can see this. Check this out. This happened as we were talking, doing the show. This triggered the Ring camera in our side house. The only window is right here to the right. This window, which is obviously closed, blinds are closed. And then we have this side window over here. There is no sort, this is a low light camera, so it looks like there's light. This is completely pitch black dark in this room. Let me play this again. You can almost see it interacting with the cabinet, right? Like it almost goes into it, right? Okay, that's video 1. This is video 2. because it triggered the Ring camera multiple times. So this is video 2. I will play this again, video 2. The second time the Ring camera was triggered. There is no one in there. It is complete dark, and you see it pass in front of the door. All right. And video number 3. This is when she finally goes in to try to see for herself. I believe this is the video, or this may be this might be the third might be a third Ring video here. Okay, so I have them out of order. This is after she left. So let me show this one. So you saw the 2. This is her coming to check it out. This is the front door. You guys can see that. Front door of the side house. You see the orb still here. So the orb is still there. It is obviously passing. It's in this small area in the kitchen. This is a kitchen area. This is her. She turned the light on because she was scared, obviously, as anyone should be, probably. Orb is still there. She'll be coming through the door shortly. She's seen the previous video, so she knows where the orb was. And so she's going to look into that area. The orb is still there. Even though the light is turned on, the orb is still there, floating around intelligently as well. Let's mind that. Seems like whatever it is alive. The way this thing is moving, like it's making conscious choices. I believe she walks in. I believe she walks in here shortly. Yep. Turns the light back on. And you hear the dogs in the backyard. She's coming to the back house. Orb just chilling, right? Here she is coming in, scared because she's already seen this. The orb is still here. She knows where the orb is. She doesn't see it, though. Turns on the light. Obviously scared. Looking around for it. And at this point, I think it's gone now, right? I think when she No, there it is. It's still up here. It's still up here, but she does not see it at all.
Alexa, turn off living room light.
Okay.
Orb was still there. All right. So with that being said, let me come back to the freaking chat, okay? What do you think about that? If you ever have even doubted, I know you've seen orb videos like that with the little floaty things. I've seen them myself. And in other people's, videos that they've shown. So another thing, and that's why I'm glad that I have receipts. Don't ask me why or how I just end up getting the receipts every time. I just thank God that I'm able to present these for you, but it keeps happening. It keeps happening. If you ever thought that those, anytime you see a video with those in it, it's real. Now, I think we could probably take that home. That anytime you see those videos, those are real videos, and whatever those things are it's somehow intelligent. I don't know. I have no explanation on, how they tie in to the phenomena, what exactly they are, and I think there's, but some of the more concern is that it's all happening to me. It's all happening to us, I should say, here at this house, at this property, at this location, and this house. We've had the 47 UFOs, which we're about to watch in a second. We had the sounds of people walking on the roof at this house. We had the shadow person sitting in the living room at this house. We had the knocking that you saw triggering the Ring camera and the dogs barking at this house. The orbs floating around the side house at this house. Guys, the phenomena is, if you had any inkling or any doubt that this stuff was real, this has to let you know that this is real. This is authentic. All these things that we're talking about, right? Mind blowing and scary at the same time. I'm not going to lie. It's a scary thing, right? Because I live here with them. I live here with these things. You may have people out there, and I know there's a portion of this community that simply makes up the stories to be cool, right? Or to have some sort of notoriety, right? Or may add to the story. And sometimes you have the real stories, but no receipts. So there's still did you really see that? Is that really what you saw? It could have been something else. Could it have been this? Do you have any pictures? Do you have any video? Right? Those sorts of things. And then sometimes like, nah, I didn't catch it, or, no. But for some reason, I keep getting the receipts. And I think it has something to do with the mission that we're on to get this disclosed to the vast public. I don't even know. And I'm not that type of guy where, I feel like these things have been happening my whole life. Like, these things literally began to happen back to back to back, not even 2 years ago. So mind blowing. How old is this place? Doug Shelby asked. I don't know, actually. I don't remember the year. I want to say the 90s. We'll say this house was built in the 90s sometime. Not sure the exact year. I have to get back to you on that. Richard Minnick, nothing scary about any of that. It's cool. I understand the perspective on that. But when you're when you're physically here with this stuff happening, it's different and it's weird. You know what I mean? In haunted houses and things of that nature, some of these things, one of these things may happen to a person and then nothing else. You know what I mean? And then this is the thing they had happen and this is the story that they tell. But for some reason, I'm getting every aspect of the phenomena. I'm getting physical, factual proof of UFOs, which is on the alien aspect of it. Getting shadow people, which is on the whole paranormal side of it. Getting the orbs, which could lean either way to the extraterrestrial side or the paranormal side of the conversation. You get the footsteps and the knocking, which probably would lean more towards the paranormal side of this. But it's so strange that all this stuff is happening to me. And this stuff you could take to the bank. Okay. Any of these things I'm showing you, you could take all of these things to the bank, and I implore you to show these things as proof to other people that these things are actually real. Like, I'm a no BS person. I have a BS meter myself, so I can even sniff out BS, right? And you have to show me some stuff. I have to, things are plausible. We could talk through it logically and try to figure out what some things are when we're basing it off conversation. But when we're looking at videos, right? Nothing doctored, nothing manipulated. This is all raw stuff. Everything you guys get from me is raw. And it just has to give you, if you ever even had a slight doubt of what was going on, this should really slam it home for you. And it's the reason why I say scary, going back to Richard Minnick, is because I'm always like, well, what's next? Okay, because the things that I have not experienced would be along the lines of like cryptids, right? Actual seeing a cryptid. So I have not had that experience. And then also like firsthand contact with extraterrestrial. But the scary part of it, and what makes me kind of feel some kind of way about it, is that the next thing that's going to happen, right? If all these things have happened uncontrollably, I'm not looking for any of these things. They happen to be caught on Ring cameras, photos and things of that nature. I'm not out seeking any of these things. These things are happening, and it's just the scary part is what is next? What is next? You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm going to assume that the orbs that we just looked at may tie into the shadow person part, maybe the whole paranormal thing that's going on here at this house, or we were just in Virginia City, right? And there was, I want to say Science Bob and Lala Bright both say that they brought something back with them. Now, at the same time, as I told you in yesterday's show, I personally didn't experience anything. However, now I would love to see Jax's video of the orb that flew, because when we were being, on that ghost tour, she was taking video, and I believe I was standing right next to her at the time. And in the video, she said there was an orb that went across the screen. Now, I didn't see that. You know what I mean? I saw the video briefly, but I would love to see it again, because I would wonder, maybe something did come with me back home. I don't know. That's the strange part about it. But what you can take to the bank is that it is there and it is real. That's real. The shadow person is real. The knocking that you heard with your own ears is real. The UFOs that I'm about to show you are real. So it's just one of these moments, like, I don't even know how to process this right now, right? It's just got me feeling wild. And I always say that when I jump into one part of this conversation, it's like an onion, and it just peels another layer, and then now it opens up the possibility of all these other things. Is it because I'm talking about it? Is it because am I being targeted, because of the angle that I take with these conversations, and the trying to look at the logical aspect of this to make sense of it so we can flush out the truth? Is it using me as a platform to display all these different parts of the phenomena? I don't have any other explanation for it. So, if you can I'm open. I'm open. Let me go back through the chat. I know it had, this is mind blowing, right? Mind blowing. I'm gonna run the orb video again a couple times, and then I'll run the UFO video. And it's Cosmic Joe Chronicle says evidence, right? Because those skeptics always want proof and what's this, what's that. So, and then you have to look into the question of the person. Is this person trustworthy? Would this person pull a hoax? You guys know me by now, and you know that's nothing that I would be on. I'm a real guy. You know what I mean? And my approach to this topic doesn't never over embellishes the stories that we hear. You know what I mean? And there's always a logical aspect that we try to take to this here on the after hours, and which is what I'm trying to do. So it feels like maybe I'm being used as a conduit and given these receipts to be able to show the masses. That's the only thing I could think about, the only thing that makes sense to me. And evidence is key, and they ask for it, and we have a lot of it here. So let me see. Let me go back here and see what we got in here, right? Yeah, you hear the dogs. The dogs distress first and foremost, right? The dogs are going bonkers, bananas. Why was the ring camera triggered though for the knocking? So what in that frame of the kitchen area that you saw triggered the ring camera at the moment that the knocking happened? Was it one of the orbs we're seeing here? But she couldn't see it when she went in there. So was that what was happening in the kitchen? Was there, you know what I mean? It's just, dude, we could go down a huge rabbit hole. Joanne heard knocking, clear as a bell, clear as day. Parasolo says, yes, clear. Let's see. Christine Lynn, yes, almost sounded like a dog barking far away. Lightwalkers definitely heard it. Sounded too soft to be a real human. Magneticus, dog alarm went off. Tomatman heard it loud and clear. Black Dragon heard the knocking. Scott B, yes. And those are Chihuahuas that we have. So you've heard Chihuahuas are like excellent alarms, right? When it comes to stuff like that. And I pay attention to them, even at night. When it's time to go to bed and turn off all the lights, you know, sometimes we'll let our pups roam the house freely, and you'll hear them go into certain rooms or to the other side of the house and kind of do like passive aggressive little growls and things of that nature. So you have to wonder what it is they're seeing. Parasolo, perfectly loud and clear. Brown Dwarf, Trippy, Rob G. No chimney, Magneticus. Did you check the chimney? No chimney in this house. California, we don't have very many chimneys. WTF, Paramarv, Christine Lynn, whoa, Plaid Koala, oh wow. I mean, come on. And oh my God, right? Let me hurry up and get down this list. Any loved ones recently deceased last month, 6 months, maybe. My girl's mother, my mother-in-law, she actually passed away. It's been a few years, but it has been since we lived at this house. And I thought about her first when I saw the shadow person, but the shadow person has a male form and is a lot taller. So I didn't connect that dot at all, based off of the physical characteristics of that shadow. It seems to be like some sort of 6 foot tall guy. And, you know, and we'll look at that again. Okay. Moody Mongol. Oh, I heard the knocking. My question, why is there not a human shaped hole in the wall on the opposite side of the house to the knocking? Because I would have made one as I ran away from that sound. That's what I'm saying. Right. And these are the things, right? I've watched people on TV and I've heard them give accounts like this. And you always have, I don't know, like, I don't know this person. Like, are they really, you know, telling it like it happened? Or are they maybe adding something to the story? and you never can get the thing. But like, you know, anything that you get from me, period, is I'm just that person, right? I would never lie to a person. I don't like people who lie. You know what I mean? I'm a realist. I'm genuine, and I expect truth from you as I would give to you, right? I expect that back, right? And then if you violate that, then we're looking at something different. But I give you that benefit of the doubt. And you know, I always feel like I always say it takes too much energy to lie and make things up, right? So you can guarantee that if anything comes through me and I show it, that this is something that happened and you can take it to the bank. So let's move down. Just want to go through, see anybody else. What do you have in that cabinet? Actually, good question. I'm not sure. I'll have to go in there and check. I won't be doing that tonight. I will be doing that when the sun comes up. The orb we saw was in there, and I'm not going in there tonight. Let's see. Moving down. That's wild, making maneuvers. And you've seen that. I've seen that on other camera or other videos where people have shown the same sort of orbs, the same sort of movement, maybe even at Skinwalker Ranch. Go back and watch some of those videos. I'm almost sure that they had something similar to this at Skinwalker Ranch. So what does that say? I've been someone who has been critical of Skinwalker Ranch and said, is all the stuff really happening? I do remember they had an orb like that. So for me now, with this happening, it validates for me, surprisingly, sort of, that what they showed on Skinwalker Ranch, when they showed the orb like this, was actually real and it happened. So that lays, so anybody out there who just thinks Skinwalker Ranch is a scam, I can tell you at least the orb experience that they showed is exactly what you saw here that happened here at my house. So whatever that's worth, there's at least that much of it that they're doing over there that they're actually encountering. And I think we can say that now with this. Wild Rob, that's awesome. Let's see. Okay, already, y'all. All right, Rob G, man. I don't think what it wants y'all out or means y'all harm it per se, but you better be knowing that you have something living there with you too. Right. Interesting that it triggered the Ring camera. Right. Let me move down because I'm going to show this again here. Definitely not a flying bug. Open the cabinet. I'm going to have to do that, and I'll update you on that on my show tomorrow. So make sure you guys come over actually to watch my show on my channel. I have a lot of real stuff going on over there. Let me go ahead and bring it up real quick. The Social Dig, Mr. Rob G, doing a show tomorrow called Post Disclosure, What's the Government's Plan? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really would appreciate it if you do, because we go over there, we have the real talk. We come over here and we also have the real talk. So it's just another place to be able to dive into great conversation. And you can get that at, let me see, youtube.com/at Mr. Rob G. Let me go ahead. I've done this. Aloha, Dave. Check the history of the house, see if anyone has passed. I've done that. I went as soon as the steps on the roof were happening, and then the shadow person. Once that happened, I immediately went online and checked the death records of this area. I checked this address, and I found people who passed near the house, but no one that was tied directly to this address. So I did definitely do that immediately upon that happening. Let me see, going down. Yeah, I hope we're safe. I really do hope we're safe. That's the hope. Van Golds, appreciate you. Matthew Gutka, that's crazy, Rob. Awesome video. Matthew Gutka, this stuff is freaking real, dude. Like, it just is still blowing my mind. And then sitting here as a host of a show, I think it's the perfect, alignment of things happening to be able to bring this out. Because if I wasn't hosting the show, this stuff would just be happening. I would have the proof, but I'd be posting it on social media. I don't know if it would actually get anywhere. This stuff, I think I'm being used for a reason. It's all I could figure out. I don't know. I just don't know, guys. Let me see. Moving down. What else? What's in the cupboard? Yeah, I'm gonna find out. I'm not sure exactly what's in the cupboard. I have to check. Black Dragon. Is there a history to the land? Maybe running water near you? No running water near me. You know, Bakersfield is a migrant farm town. So, you know, I'm thinking potentially maybe someone, if it is something tied to something like that, and maybe someone was sick who used to live here and may have passed away due to sickness or to a natural cause or something that wouldn't necessarily be in those records like that, you know, that you could find on a Google search. That's what I'm thinking. I still haven't gone to talk to my neighbor, but now that this latest thing has happened, I'm definitely going to go do that because I want to know, because my neighbor knew the previous neighbors here. And I just want to know if they ever said something to him about things happening in this house. If it's a poltergeist, we'll get worse unless you get your house blessed. Cosmic Joe, thank you for that. And I've talked about doing that. And I tell you, the moment I think it's over and nothing else is happening, boom, here we go. Ring camera for a door. It's actually ones that go in your house. So you have ones that you sit on your shelves. So that's that. It's an indoor outdoor camera though. It can go outside if you needed it to, but it has a stand, and we have them all over the house. We have probably a few of them outside, you know, looking down the driveway. And we had the girl, I told you about the girl who came to our door one day in the middle of the day looking disheveled, asking if she could come in and take a shower. She came to our house in the middle of the day. We're 4 houses off the corner, and she came and asked us if she could come in and use the shower. We told her no, and it was just a weird feeling about that. And when she walked away, we checked those same ring cameras that watched the front yard, and the ring did not pick her walking up to the house. It also did not trigger her walking away from the house, because I wanted to see if she had gone over to the neighbor after she left here, if she was just going house to house to house. But when we checked the ring camera, it did not show her walking away from the house or walking up to the house. Whatever, I'm not going to say that that's something, but it's definitely strange. And when you pile that on the other things that we have the video proof of here and picture proof, it makes it kind of, you know, you have to question it. So, yeah, and this is not a detached house. It is detached, and there's the only way to get in is through that front door, but it is technically connected to this house, right? But it has its own entrance, and the only way you can get in is through that front door that you saw a girl walk through. Okay, going down the list. I know I'm not going to go to fear, right? Because I live here, so I have to, you know, I'm not just going to walk around scared, but just on the inside, it's very unsettling. It is very unsettling. Thank you for the support, Aloha Dave, SOR, come for the woo, get a live woo show. As it happened, as we were sitting here, this happened. Brown Door says you got a welcome mat on your front door, Rob G. I don't know. Brown Dwarf, man, it's crazy. And we're so close. You know, we're going to connect, and I know you'll probably end up down here at some point. So you'll get to see what I'm talking about. Maybe if you even have some people, Brown Dwarf, that could look into this, maybe we could talk about that. Says start doing the show in that room. I know things might happen right on camera, right? Potentially. Okay. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. But and I think these are the things that need to be covered, right? You know, when the government is looking at arrows evidence or military evidence, are they getting these sort of videos? Maybe they are. You know what I mean? But I think regardless of them, I think the general public should know about this, right? Because this stuff is freaking real, dude. This stuff is freaking real. Christine says, Rob, do you have social dig email or Facebook Messenger? The same one I use for after hours, I also use for the social dig. So if you just get with me, Rob G, on Facebook, it serves the same purpose. But yeah, so I just want you to, these are things you could take to the bank. These white things in the sky, these orb things are real. They're for surely real, no doubt. They're not from here. They're for surely a thing. Okay. These shadow people talk about, corner of your eye sort of thing. You saw full body apparition. Shadow people are real. That's a fact. These little orb things that float around, whatever they are, these things are real. You saw it. There's no doubt about it. They're for surely real, right? So I think we can check those off the list as, are they real? Maybe. Did you see? No, these are guaranteed for surely real things, right? So when you're talking to other people and it's not a, I guess, or maybe, it's a, I saw proof that these things are real. And that's what you got tonight. Yeah, I'm going to show the shadow person right now. Sergeant Slackass, actually, let me get that back up here. Chilling, to say the least, the shadow person, right? As I walk past there every night when I leave the studio and go to bed, and I always look right where that shadow person was. I always, when I walk through that and come in the hallway, down the hallway to go to my bedroom, I always look over in that same area to see if I see anything there. And I always do. I just can't help it. So that's the shadow person. Let me show the zoomed in one. Okay, that's the zoomed in one. Let me go ahead and show you the orb video again before we go tonight, and then we'll cap it off with my epic UFO sighting. So this is video number 1. Let me get myself off the screen. All right, let's go to the next one here. Next video of the orb, which would be this one here. Clearly floating around, dude. And it almost looks like a ring, not an orb. It looks like it's hollow in the center, like it's a ring. You see the trail being left behind it. All right. And then the third one, we don't need to show the one my girl coming in because, okay, this is the one. This is after she left. So the orb, I believe, was gone at this point. Didn't show back up. All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get into the knocking video, and then we'll do the UFO sighting. Middle of the day, broad daylight, guys. We take it back. We're going to rewind it. Clear as day.
Somebody knocked on the door somewhere.
She asked me if I knocked on the door.
Robert, was that you? Robert, was that you?
Okay, and then as a promise, here's the UFO video, my epic UFO sighting. Let me go ahead and run that from here. As we get ready to rewind this thing down, let me share the screen, and here's the UFO right here. Okay. This is just I was showing, these are the anomalous craft we know about from the government. I think the things I think the orbs and the things I took a picture of and you'll see in the video is the same thing you're seeing on the screen, the gimbal. I just feel like that because he says there's a whole fleet of them, and you'll see in my video there's a whole fleet. Receipts, guys, receipts. They didn't tell us about shapes. They redacted them because if they showed us, then we realize we've been seeing these things all along. I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to move the banner so you can see my UFO sighting is coming up, I believe, next. And you'll hear the conversation we had in the background. Not birds or balloons, real UFOs. Look at this.
Really?
Look at this. Clear blue skies, 108 degrees.
Hey, birds, y'all think?
No, them ain't birds. No, they're not. Dude, those are not birds. No way though. You see, I catch them in frame here, and then 3 seconds later, where'd they go? They all disappeared.
They're birds.
Okay. All right, Kiara. Where? Where? Exactly. If they're birds, where they go, Kiara?
I don't know what that was.
Kiara, those are birds. Where did they just go? Nah, ain't no maybe. You would still see them, dude.
The thing that was crazy was when I had first seen them, they were shining. It was like, that's what caught my eye. It was like, they were shining, and then they disappeared, and then
They were shining and they all disappeared. I'll show you some things that look exactly. This is what they look like. I zoomed in and did a frame. They're spears with these black pipe things sticking out the bottom and the top. "2020 in Oakland." This is someone else had a sighting of these same things.
Yeah, because they are flying kind of weird.
They don't even look right, huh? Damn, they look hella weird. I don't see no wings flapping, man. Do you see wings flapping?
Same objects in a formation. This was reported to Newport the day after my sighting. Same objects in Aurora, Colorado. Spears with the black object sticking out the bottom. This is my picture, zoomed in, framed, same exact object. McWest replied, I put it out for the skeptics. He says they're seagulls. You know, McWest loves to say they're birds. So this person thought they were seeing birds till they looked closer and realized they didn't have wings. Same exact object. And this is what I reported to MUFON. All right, we're going to check the sighting out one more time. Look at those things up there. $47 of them. You see. Okay. Where? Exactly. They're birds where they go, Kiari. Kiari. Those are birds. Where did they just go? Nah, ain't no maybe. Dude, you still see them, dude. Epic. So I pose the question: why? What are they doing? Why are they so brazen? Why would they be out in the middle of the day in a formation in that many numbers? Why so many? 99% sure that they're the same ones that they talk about in the gimbal video. Disclosure is now. Disclosure is now. So with that being said, let me bring myself back up on the screen here. Disclosure is now. That's a fitting clip to leave it on. And actually, just to add this to the end of the thing here, we just had the Reno trip, and I just want to show you the Reno orb that I caught. We were having lunch, me, Mama Catherine, and Charlie, and we saw this dot in the sky, as you see in the upper left corner. Well, I see it, and I'm like, hey guys, do you see that? What is that? That's weird. We look at it, we film it. I'll give you some zoomed in stuff of that. This is what it looked like. And then this is zoomed in. Excuse me. Is it the same thing that was from the UFO sighting? I have no clue. I don't see the black thing sticking out, but maybe that's something that comes in and comes out. You know what I mean? I don't know. But we just so happened to catch this. And then this is a week ago. And then we have the orbs tonight. So, guys, UFOs, the phenomena is 100% real. Lou Jimenez is my guy, and he does a whole skeptic view of what's going on. And, we need a skeptic approach to him. But I tell him, and I told him when I had that first sighting, that these things are real. And since we've had the conversation, there's just been so much more evidence now that has been brought to the table. So I would love, and we will be having another conversation sometime in the future. So make sure you go back at least on the Social Dig and watch the one that we did have already. Plus, I did a video specifically around these white orbs, and I showed different scenarios of where they've been spotted around the world. That's episode 30, I believe. And then I also did a video where we dug into the MUFON database, and we found MUFON reports of the exact same objects, and they had been labeled as unknown. So they investigated them, but they still came back with unknown because they could not determine what they were. So in my book, that says in MUFON Talk is UFO, and these things are real. Make sure if anybody's on the fence out there that you know of in your personal life, direct them to these videos, direct them to this episode. I'm going to take this portion of the show, I'm going to clip it, and I'm going to set this up. I'm going to re-release this 1 hour segment as its own video. because the way this went off tonight, we didn't have a lot of people that came in because we started the show late. We weren't going to do the show. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that part of it and then re-release that as its own video. So please direct people to this video if they want proof. And then I hope to see you guys over at the Social Dig tomorrow, 3 p.m. as we jump into this topic once again, which is post-disclosure. What is the government's plan for us? I think you might be surprised at some of the things that I thought about, and we'll be having that discussion over there. So please make sure youtube.com/@MrRobG, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and support what goes on over there. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Let me look at the super chats, right? Cosmic Joe Chronicles, we appreciate you for supporting tonight, and also Aloha Dave. It has been awesome. And once again, Dave's experience on the ghost tour that happened over this weekend, he will be talking more about that tomorrow, the possession. So tune in for that tomorrow. So come to the Social Dig at 3, then come to see Dave talk about that at 9 tomorrow. Outside of that, since we're all space travelers, consider taking the next step and join the club. That's right. You can join Space Travelers, Space Out Radio Space Travelers Club for as little as $5 per month by joining our Patreon. To all our viewers and listeners across the globe, thank you for tuning your frequency to Spaced Out Radio, where we bring the receipts and we also own the night. Thanks for coming on in. You guys have a great night.
That move the needle.
Conversations that move the needle.
You're listening to After Hours with Mr. Rob G on the only place where you can own the night. Spaced Out Radio.
Spaced Out Radio. You've tuned your dial to the right frequency.